Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to another review. Today I will be continuing with a book that I've hauled way back when it was winter in December. This time I will be talking about The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. And may I just start by saying that I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but just take a look at this gorgeous book cover. It's one of the more beautiful ones that I've seen recently. But let's talk about the book itself, about the content. This book takes place in England in 19th century, and it's your basic haunted house story. We have a young lady here who suffered a tragedy, and afterwards she's moving into a new house. The house may be new to her, but actually the building has existed for many years and has a lot of disturbing history. And pretty soon after she's moving in, weird things start happening. There are strange, mysterious noise in the night. There are locked doors that maybe were not supposed to be open, mysterious injuries, things that seem to be moving all by themselves, and the suggestion that maybe, just maybe, it's all in the protagonist's head. This book was a fun, fast read. It was well written, it was interesting. I had a lot of fun reading it, and I think I finished it in like less than a week. It was fascinating. Yeah, it was a lot of fun and interesting. Yeah, really cool. However, there's just one tiny little problem. The book was not scary at all. It didn't manage to scare me once. It didn't manage even to spook me, and that's supposed to be a horror haunted house story. However, saying that, think about the fact that I just said that I really enjoyed this book, although it wasn't scary at all, which does mean something, right? I think that the biggest problem is that the author did not manage to really create an effective scary atmosphere. Usually in haunted house stories, you start by really low-key creepy stuff, some mysterious thing, and then everything escalates and escalates until you realize that there is some really dangerous things going on, and if the protagonist will not leave the house, which they usually can't, they will be in huge danger and the monster will get them and the demons will possess them or whatever. And everything in this book just stays on the spooky, creepy, mysterious atmosphere throughout the book. I never really felt there was any danger, and there wasn't any sense of urgency. Usually what happens with haunted houses, one of the reasons that they're so scary is because our house, our home, is where we feel safe, and this safe place is no longer safe for us, and it's actually very dangerous. The problem is that, first of all, it never felt like it was really her home. She just moved in. She didn't want to move there. She had a life and a brother in London. She could always leave. That was the first thing. The second thing was that, like I said, it wasn't really scary. She wasn't, or anyone in the house. I'd never felt like they were actually in danger. They never really felt like no place is safe. Combine the really not scary atmosphere with the fact that the thing that we're actually supposed to be afraid of, you know, the evil, was totally unscary, and you got a pretty lukewarm atmosphere. I will not be going into what exactly is the evil or what are the scary things there, because that might be a spoiler. However, like I said, it's so unscary. Imagine being attacked by plush toys. Yes, of course, these things are not supposed to have a mind of their own, but on the other hand, they're not scary. In addition, we do have some, let's call it flashback to a few hundred years previous. We do have this diary of a woman who used to live in the house. Like I said, it's very old, and through this diary we also find out a bunch of things about the evil in the house. And the first point that I want to make is that I found it incredibly ironic, and I was wondering if the author did that on purpose, and that women in the past, in the diary, I think it was like 15th century or so, were hanged because they were considered witches because they used herbs. And then a woman in the 19th century, may I remind you, that's the present of the book, says, well, you know, back then they believed in superstitious. May I remind you that in the 1800s, women were taken and locked in asylums for reading books. Sorry, but you have no right saying, back then women were blah blah blah. Sorry, in the 19th century, people still behave very similarly. So I just thought it was very ironic that she's kind of criticizing the primitive ways people used to think. But what I really wanted to point out is that once you really realize what went on and why does this evil exist, I was left with the feeling of, really? That's it? Hundreds of years of evil and death and like bad things because of this? Imagine a modern girl who wasn't asked to the prom by her crush, so she starts spree killing. Yeah, that makes sense, right? So basically, on one hand, this book is totally unscary, even though it's supposed to be. On the other hand, a lot of other things about this book were really, really great. Like I said, it was well written, it was a fast read, it was cool, it was interesting. Overall, the book isn't bad. It's just that I don't think it should be categorized as horror. I would categorize it as dark, mysterious, haunted house book and nothing more, so that people will not be disappointed. Basically, if you like haunted house stories, if you like story that takes place in Victorian England and you're not expecting the best ever, then you will enjoy it. However, trigger warning before I finish this video, an animal does die here, of course, because it's a haunted house book. Why do they always kill the pet? Anyway, so an animal does die. However, there is more than one animal in this book and only one dies, so others stay alive, so that's a good point. And yeah, so that's all I have to say about this book. Overall, I did enjoy it. It was a fast read, it was fun, it was cool, it was totally unscary, but still, you know, I would recommend it. Go read it, it's a fun thing. So yeah, that's it for my review. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for staying with me. If you did like the video, don't forget to click the like button to show your support and to subscribe to my channel if you dare for other book reviews and book related videos, and share this video to the world. And of course, write down below in the comment section if you do have a name of a haunted house book where no animal dies. That will be really cool. And also any other recommendation for haunted house books. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.